Welcome to Caching Waves. This is your Elliott Wave update for ICP. Now, if you haven't watched my Bitcoin update, I'll link it at the end of this video. I would suggest watching it because a lot depends on Bitcoin. If it collapses from here, we have a potential completed 5-wave impulse that needs a very large correction. So the question is, did we top already over here? We do have a clean 5 waves, but you know I've been tracking for an extended 5th up to around 24. So if we do collapse here, we'd expect to range between 552 to 834, which is our standard retracement here from the start of the trend to the top. So the question is, are we complete? Now, we do have some divergences here, just one. I like to see at least two usually, but it doesn't mean we can't have a top in already. And I'll show you that down on the micro. So I am long on this currently. If you watch my yesterday's video, I got in right on right at the 50 here. I got in, so I'm up slight profit right now. But for example, on Bitcoin, let's go back to Bitcoin here. If this is an A wave, we have 3 waves so far, and we correct up here between the 50 and the 618 on Bitcoin. I'll just show you that. That gives us a couple days we can trend on ICP. So when Bitcoin goes sideways, that's usually when the altcoins go. You can backtest this yourself. It's just the way it goes. Money just moves around. So again, we have a couple days here to either move sideways in a C wave here, and this becomes a larger WXY. We just make a new high and then we collapse. Or we make this impulse, which I've shown up to $24, where this is a 1-2. We go up to 19, 18, come back down for a 4th, up for our 5th at 24. Again, that's only about a week's time, and on Bitcoin, if the larger correction comes in, again, it's about a week's time, right? So it's a lot dependent on Bitcoin. And I'm actually also starting to lean that we actually are just making a diagonal here to end this 5-wave impulse. So our targets on that would actually be a little bit shy under $20, around between 1722 and 1876. And the way that would be counted is if our 4th wave is over here, this becomes an ABC. We're looking for an ABC for our 3rd, ABC for our 5th. At which point we'd get those extra divergences I wanted to see on the larger trend. And we'd expect that huge correction after the fact here. So for purposes of my trade, I got in right at the 50. Stop was down here. I'm going to move my stop up to that low and just targeting this area for now, up around, let's go right in between for now. This will change as I go, but yeah, around 1722. So still a pretty good trade, but I'm pulling that stop up. I'm not giving it any more room than I already have. We already have a completed correction here. We're making a move to the upside. So if it does come back down, then go, I'm not re-entering this trade. I'm just going to let it go what I already have, looking for the C wave to the upside over the next couple days. Because usually, if you watch my previous videos, if this was a 1-2, our wave 2 should have just kept going here if we're getting that extension. It doesn't mean it can't, it just means it's less probable. And B waves usually last way longer than wave 2s, which is why I'm switching my count to this one. Just based on guidelines, changing my outlook slightly. Now, how can we fail from here? Well, we did have an ABC, came right into the 70%, I believe. I pulled this before. Where did it go? So from pulling on this fib to this fib, we did hit the 70% retracement, as you can see. And what that means is this can become a flat to the downside where you get a 3, 3, and this can be a wave 1, 2, make another 1, 2, and then we get our third to the downside. And this would be a larger A wave in that larger correction I suggested to you. So this is how we lose. I'm not going to hedge this one at the moment. I'm just moving my stop right up to that level. So if I lose on that trade, it'll be like $10. It'll be nothing. And that's on the public account where I risk $100 per trade, started with 10,000. So yes, moving my stops up to this level, because if we're not going to go now, probabilities would shift that this would be a flat in my point of view. So this is what I'm looking for. Looking for this move to the upside, in which case we get our fourth and our fifth, and then we'll look to short. But again, it's all dependent on what happens with Bitcoin. This thing can take off and come to our third in white, as you can see. Anything can happen in the market. It just seems unlikely to me based on where Bitcoin is at. So I'm taking the safer approach and looking for this. But it all depends on what wave fills out, right? We have to adjust in real time in what we're having here. If you watch my videos over the previous week, you can see how I did that based on every wave. Stayed bullish even in this area. I just suggested that it might be a B wave rather than a wave 2. So that's it for this one, guys. If we do get this, I would expect I'd have to change these fib pulls to wherever the top is, but expecting this pretty big correction if we get this after the fact. All right, guys, that's it for ICP. Thanks for watching. I'll link that Bitcoin video at the end of the video if you want to watch it. But there's too many options happening at the moment, and this does not bode well for strength to me at the moment. All right, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.